Y'all Gucci?
Yeah.
Do I think so.
Alright. Where we last left off, you all began your hunt and plot on how to best tackle the plan of attacking Baba Saga. You had made it to her swamp by the end of your trip at the start of the night. The dark cover of the sky giving you decent cover when you were what she wouldn't have had if it was daylight to stealth through the swamp as best as you can and cleverly strategize your way to an assault on her front door, essentially. You all began your assault on the sentries of the witch. Though it started rough, the party eventually overcame the difficulties of the terrain, and how to combat a clever foe whose magical abilities were nothing to scoff at. During the combat, a green magical energy fell over the hut that she calls home, and it began to move in a jarring fashion with long roots erupting from the ground as it went to battle to defend its master. Many people in the battle took heavy hits from her spellcasting, but eventually she had taken enough damage and fell in battle, leaving her house to defend the area. With many out of its range, by the time that the house realized its strength, the home lashed out without direction, defending itself until it too fell. We pick back up after this. With a resounding crashing noise, the creeping hut is rendered motionless as you see the magical energy that once coated it retreat further within like a shockwave from the resulting damage of the attacks it was dealt. The murky water and mud around it splash and coat those of you nearby, which at this point would just be, oops, I just closed roll 20. It was, I think it's just Esmeralda and Genduzi.
Yeah.
Okay.
The slight sulfurous smell in the air grows strong for a moment as the waters are disturbed with its falling. You hear some items inside the home fall and slide a little bit as it falls over on its side. But the noise is not the crashing sound you would expect if a whole home fell on its side. Those in the muck you start to feel at the end of the battle as you're catching your breath, your feet begin to sink a little bit further in while you're staying still, breathing, trying to get yourself out of the gunk as best as possible, and surveying the aftermath of the battle. You survived the fight, some of you just barely, but there lay your quarry and apparently also the gemstone from the winery as discovered by Yalia during combat. What would you like to do?
Well, I should still have detect magic up.
You do.
So, what
I
can
said you have
find?
multiple pings within the huts.
Yeah.
One of
Yeah.
which you just were knowledgeable about. You'd used detect magic before on one of the green gems, so it's a similar kind of magic you feel for that one.
Can I just retrieve things?
Go and take it.
You have to get into the hut first.
Oh yeah.
The hut that is on its side. Let me get
Yeah.
the map open really quick.
Oops.
I'll quickly go and get the charger cable.
I'd like to walk over to the hut while they're all doing that.
Alrighty. You guys can move your characters how you see fit while I am loading in the map yet again because I was stupid and closed the tab.
Weak.
Wow, you were
You
fast.
guys are you guys are out of combat, so
Can I have a piggyback ride again, Doozy?
I'm already here.
okay, you still
I think
a
it just
giant
wants
ape.
one in general.
Oh.
Oh wait, you weren't a giant ape. Yeah,
No, I'm
you
not a
stepped.
giant ape.
He had barely become
got
a hero,
kicked out.
or
Yeah.
got barely kicked out. Yeah.
Alright.
She just
Alright, I fixed my thing. So Yali, you want to start going into the hut and plucking items?
yeah,
Okay.
please.
So then currently
Oh,
you are going to be the
Oh.
only one
a
on
map inside on the map.
But she's the only one that's in this one.
Oh,
I'm scared.
So she's
Where?
currently the only one that's in this.
Why is there a map?
She's the only one that said she wanted to do it. Let me just get.
Why is the skull
So-
still existent?
Because look, man. I don't fucking care. It's there. I made these all before. And also, I'm trying to get your freaking character icon in there, but it's being mean to me. There we go. Okay. So you are. It's on its side, but it's enough to where you can get in. And you begin to enter what was the huts. More in disarray than you would think, but not as much as also you would think. The hut is 15 feet on a side and packed with old furniture, including a wooden cot, a wicker cabinets, a slender wardrobe, a wooden table, a stool, a barrel-topped wooden chest reinforced with brass bands, and an iron tub stained with blood. You can see as you walk into the room that there's a little pool of like blood in the corner that is kind of like was thrown off and as you're walking. Now that was once the side of the huts, but you are now using it as its floorboards. In the middle of the room, over in the room, there is like a ghastly wooden crib with a small angelic child sitting in it, though at an angle. All the furniture except for the crib are bolted to the floor. The crib is tousled like up against the side now. And in the this time it would be on like for your case when you're walking in, you're essentially walking in on what would be the left wall instead of the main floor. So when you're walking in, you're kind of stepping over stuff, and then this main floor right here, you see a green light that seeps up through the cracks between the rotting floorboards.
Before she says anything, I want to go and stand like here so I got a line of sight into the hut,
Okay.
but I don't want to go in.
Yeah, because there's not a lot of room for everybody to get in here. It's actually kind of tiny huts.
I'd like to go and investigate the skull carcass.
The skull carcass.
Wherever it
Okay,
landed.
we'll say it's landed where it's on the map, because then I at least get use out of
How
my skull that I
convenient.
chose. Look, you try managing like 5 minutes. It's not fun.
I'd like to cast
Anyone?
Divine Sense. Just to like. Because I'm a bit. What's the word? That thing where you're not too sure about what's going on.
Suspicious?
And you don't want to die.
Paranoid?
A mixture
Fury.
of both.
Mixture of yeah, what is I always forget what is divine sense.
Yeah, I'm going there now.
Does anybody else want to position themselves near the door anywhere in particular? Esmeralda's
like-
gonna be outside because she's tired and she's just gonna kind of lean up against the house.
I want to check
Could
the witch.
Which we'll say that I gotta get back to your. We'll put you over here then, because she was behind the hut when she got murdered.
Mert.
She got murdered. Aubrey, you want to be anywhere in particular on the map?
I'd probably be by Aurora just to make sure she's still okay, because you know going down twice is not fun.
Yeah. Alright. Alright. So, what does Divine Sense do again, Yali?
I'll read the whole thing.
Yeah.
As an action, you can detect good and evil. Full stop. I won't use punctuation again. Until the end
Full
of your next
stop.
turn, as you can sense anything affected by the Hallow spell, or know the location of any celestial fiend or undead within 60 feet. This is not behind total cover. You can use this feature 4 times per long rest.
Then you do not sense any creatures that are within 60 feet of you that are any of those. You do not. This is definitely not affected by a Hallow spell, and it is also not desecrated as well, because I think you can also sense desecrated, right?
I can't remember. Oh, that's not the right thing.
I think so.
Let's
That
just
might
go
have
with
been me looking it up.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's in the full description. Yeah.
So you don't get any pings on your divine sense, that is.
I'm scared. I'd like to investigate.
What particular thing do you want to try to investigate first?
Find the magic-y stuff.
the green glow.
Well, yeah, the green glow. Yeah, I
The
forgot.
green
that's
glow
right.
is the main magic source that you sense, which is to your right along the wall, which would be right here, kind of like where the center portion of where the roots probably come in from and connect to the hut.
Okay.
And
I'd
then
like to.
you also get magic-y sense from a chest that is on, that's kind of bolted on the cabinet that's on the side.
I'm just scared there's gonna be mimics. That's my fear.
But would a mimic not come up for like good and evil or something?
I don't know, would it?
It's celestial fiends and undead.
What is a mimic?
A mimic is,
I believe it's an abomination.
it's an abomination, so it wouldn't come up.
Okay.
Divine sense is mainly like with the things that
But, like,
are.
would she be able to keep a mimic?
She was powerful.
Yes.
Hey, you never know. Sometimes there's strange bedfellows in
Okay.
D&D.
I think just for safety, even though I know that I'm not very good at it, I'm gonna have a
Some
cheeky look at it before
Look at what?
the chest, because I feel like
Okay.
that's a good thing to look at
Look at the
first.
chest.
Because I'm next to the chest.
Okay.
So I just want to have a cheeky perception to it, and then I'll
Alright.
investigate it.
Oh.
What are you trying to look for to see if it's
Danger. Traps.
traps? Okay, roll perception check for
This
me.
is gonna be yeah. 7.
Perception for danger. It does not seem to be trapped.
Cool. Can I just pick out the magic-y stuff?
It's closed currently, so you want to open it up.
Yes.
Okay. As you open it up,
Never get it.
I don't remember what the spell save DC is for the spell.
I knew it. I knew it.
Don't you? That thing, you could just stop it from being magical.
What are you talking
What's the
about?
spell that you were showing me earlier? That you got always, dispel magic.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
she'd have to cast it before she triggered it.
See, my only thing was I wasn't sure if it would like dispel the magic of the actual.
Of what we're trying to
Yeah, because if
Mm.
there was nothing there, then
get. I get it.
Is there a spell save DC for this?
bearing in mind
going
I still
higher?
have Shield of Faith up as well. I think. Wait, actually, no, I wouldn't. Do I?
I
Plus
believe
it
that only
wouldn't
lasts
affect-
a minute.
And it also wouldn't affect as an attack
thing?
from a trap.
What am I doing?
She
I'm
doesn't say
trying to
that.
look. I'm trying to see if there's a spell save DC for this one. I guess there's.
So
I don't think there's a spell save.
I don't think.
Okay. So you take as it opens up, because I was trying to find out, but it doesn't tell me these things.
Oh.
I have a lot of hit points, so hopefully it's not too many. Or it's necrotic damage.
Mm.
Then, happy days. This is going to be what happened to Vax, isn't it?
She's trying to do the math and you're all making it hit.
Sorry,
It's
sorry.
funny.
Thank you. You take. Oh my god, I fucked it up again.
See, now that was your fault.
You take. No, it's because I was about to say it and I forgot because I read something. You take 17 points of thunder damage as a glyph of warding is set off on the chest, as well as soon as you open the chest, you see as
It's a mimic, isn't it?
4 disembodied hands begin to crawl their way out of the chest towards you, and that each of them are going to make attacks against you because. And then I also need you to roll initiative.
Yep.
Can
yep.
I also react to like seeing this and try and
Did
go
you
in and
move
out
in
of-
further whenever she moved in to
No,
check
but
out the?
I wanted to keep a line of sight on her to make sure she was
So you see, she
Okay.
got hit by lightning.
okay.
Nothing has occurred
After-
yet for the.
After seeing that, I want to make my move forward.
My initiative
Okay.
was bad.
You can get right there for right now. Because it is a very tight space.
Yeah.
I don't have my symbol of Ravenkind, so I can't even use.
So, first one is a 13 to hit. That
Okay.
doesn't fucking hit. Second one is a 22 to hit because I rolled good. And then, third is a 5 to hit, and then the other is a 16 to hit, which don't hit. So that's
Not bad,
just
not bad. Because I made it to my hit points from last week. 2 points
you
of
take
damage.
2 slashing damage
Oh,
from,
and
from the claw
yeah, there's
as,
an
as they
and.
crawl up your armor, and the one of them, they're kind of like big spiders, which really creeps you out a lot because you're holding the chest and you open it, and first you're like shocked and like your hands clench like it does when you get like electrocuted, and like while it's during that phase, 4 of them come out and begin crawling up your arms, and one of the 3 of them kind of like start to fall off of your armor, not being able to get good grips, and fall on the floor, which you see Gendouzi. And then one of them comes up and like scratches your face.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna become a were spider.
So that's it. What did you roll for initiative?
8. Oh wait,
let's
10.
see what
10,
they got.
sorry. 10.
Well, you go first because they rolled a 7. Gendouzi, you can also roll initiative because you were right next to her.
Oh wow, nice.
11.
11.
Yeah,
All right,
11.
you can go first then.
I push Yalier out of the way.
You had a no. He wouldn't actually be able to do it. It is still very cramped space.
Are they like hittable, or am I risking hitting her?
You would be able to hit them because they're on the ground.
Okay.
You could hit the one that's not on her face without hurting her.
Oh wait, could I have reacted to that?
What
I
was
mean,
it?
you could
What
have
was it?
done a reaction like Hellish Rebuke if you wanted
Hellish
to.
Rebuke
Yes,
is fine,
please.
Go ahead.
Why not? But they have to do a save. But yeah.
I don't even think if they save that they're gonna survive. You had a natural. What is the saving for these?
15 dex.
Okay, well they got a 20 total dex.
That
Just
means
tell me how
nothing.
much damage it is.
Oh, it is half. Okay.
It's half.
2d10. Where's I'll just use this one. You got it.
I'm not even gonna change the music because
5 points of damage.
5 damage, it's dead. the,
Ow.
the one that scratches you, you just get so pissed off at it that it just kind of like burns away
Okay.
into dust. And now you're just left with a 3 on the floor in front of you.
No, it isn't, because it's my turn. I use my reaction for when they hit me with the surprise
Yeah,
round.
and I go first.
I thought she said she couldn't do anything.
What?
No,
No,
she
I
she
said
said
he could hit one of the ones on the ground, but not hit the one on you if he didn't want to hit you.
I'm going to use the Sun Sword.
Love to see it.
That's a 29 to hit.
Oh, let me check. I don't think that hits. They have a 12 AC. And 2 hit points, by the way.
I'm not very
What's the point of them?
Creep factor?
So that one's dead, okay.
Oh,
And my second
I
attack.
forgot about them until I read the description again before the
My
game.
second attack is a 19, and that one's also dead.
Yeah, 2 dead hands. Grace, it is now your turn.
There's
how
one left,
easily
yeah.
you killed it. I'm going to.
Hey, you guys both get 2.
I'm going to attempt
Should've
because
used
this might
rock
not
and got hit
work.
points.
I want to punch it.
You want to punch it? Roll for an attack.
We'll see though, because
What's your unarmed attack?
it's not bad. It's just +7.
Okay.
Wait, that's gone up.
Oopsie.
Yeah. It's dead.
She's got 4 now.
We got a 22, but it's
And it's
4.
just 4 damage.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's dead. You go, that. And it goes, just like you would if it was a spider. Exactly, a spider puncher.
It died.
Thanks, Gandu.
You're welcome.
As quick as it occurred, the
Nice stuff.
disturbing situation is over, and you are left with just an open crate, or an open chest in front of you.
That was
Inside of the chest, you find a couple of different things. You find
chest.
1,300 gold pieces.
Wow.
Nice. Hoo-hoo-hoo.
I
You
saw that.
find
But you don't see
five
anything. You can't
five
count.
gemstones, which mark down like where you got them from, so I can tell you if you ever later want to sell them. You find a vial that contains something that's like an oily texture in it. With your detect magic, it does give off a magical aura. You find a box as you open it up. Within there are 2 spell scrolls within it, one of which is Mass Cure Wounds and one of which is Revivify.
I have that now.
You have Revivify?
Yeah.
Nice.
But you know,
So you can use this spell scroll now without even having to do a check for it. You can just cast it from there and not use any components if you have the access to that spell and it is within your level capability. When you have to do checks on it, it's when you have access to that spell in the future potentially, but you don't yet. And there are higher levels, and so you roll for the additional levels that you have to try to meet. You also find a pouch that contains 10 plus 1 crossbow bolts.
10.
I'm just gonna say what they are because I forgot that they were plus 1 ones are magic, but whatever. You can see that there's runes on it, and you know that they're magical. And in addition, you also find this like smooth black stone that's kind of in the shape of like a D8 almost. It's just slightly bigger, like this size. And you also find the little smooth black stone is also giving off a magical aura. In addition, you find a holy symbol of some kind that gives off very faint magical sense, kind of like a spell focus does for most people, like your holy symbol does for you. The gold that you find is marked with various different brandings and symbols. You find a broken pair of spectacles in there. You also find an old spell book that seems to have had the pages torn out of it. These seem to be... You seem to have found her collection from quite a few different people that may have come through the valley
Quick question.
over time. Mm-hmm.
Did the wizard man, Mordenkainen, did he say he lost his spell book?
He
Or am I making that up?
He did. But this one's only missing like a few pages. It doesn't seem like they were a very like advanced wizard. Like
Okay.
they seem to be like a couple of the pages in the front, whereas Mordenkainen said that like he lost his spell book somewhere in the area where he fell by the waterfall.
Okay.
But that's it. That's what you find in the chest.
Cool. Moving on to the green thing in the ground. Or I can't remember.
It's in the wall.
In the wall.
Currently, it is blocked by the floorboards. That's now become the walls.
Ah.
And you see as the light is like shining up from beneath them.
This infant, right?
Yeah.
Is it like an alive infant?
I don't know. Would you like to go and investigate the infant?
I mean, this is a very small room, so it's a bit troubling. If I didn't detect any, like,
Oh wait, yeah,
infants,
no,
or-
you would have been able to detect magic for the infants. Forgot.
So what did I detect for that?
You detect an strong illusion magic from the
Ah,
infants.
okay. I don't want to like punch it because I feel like that's really rude. Can I
Baby
like?
puncher.
Can I
Put your
just
hand
wave
through it.
my hand through?
Yeah, you
Just
can wave your
confirm
hand
that?
through her. It's just you wave your hand and break it apart. The child that is very young, very cute looking, black hair that slicks back, just kind of sits
Sure.
still, like kind of at an angle. You go first.
Oh,
Could I speak to it? Like, hello? Does it respond? Like, I don't know what kind of
You
level
speak
of.
to it. It does not respond. It seems to be a very minor Krogan illusion. That's just to hold an image. There are
Okay.
like some illusions that you can speak to, but this is not seemingly one of them.
Okay. That's really.
Is there anything
Why?
else you'd like to do?
What do you want to do about the gem?
Are the floorboards
Okay.
liftable? Like, would I have to do a strength check for that, or am I
You
strong
don't see any way currently. There's no like
I could go
door or
on the other
compartment or anything that seems to be going into the floorboards. So if you would probably have to break or do something.
Mm.
You can try to lift the floorboards if you would like.
Can I go around and underneath, essentially, the house and see if I can get it from that side?
Sure, you go around and check out the area that is the base of the roots. It is very solid there.
Okay. Gonna have
There
to get it from
is
inside.
likely no way for you to access the gem from the outside.
Cool. So, oh, I don't know whether to break it or to just try and pry it open.
Either way, it'd be a strength check. So if you just
Yeah,
want to make a
fair.
strength check for me, go ahead.
It's +3, right?
I believe so.
Oh my gosh. I've rolled so many 8s today. I'm unimpressed. 11.
You move over and you try to rip up the floorboards, and your hands are starting to feel like stiff from all of the like damage it just took from the thunder and just the situation of the battle as it was. You are unable to pull up the floorboards.
But can I use my axe?
Yes,
Cool.
you can make an attack against it.
Oh yeah, that should do really. 19.
19.
Awesome.
It hits the
awesome.
floor. No, it doesn't hit the floor. It's just there.
Now, is this plant-based?
I'm gonna say yeah,
Oh, yes.
just cause.
I would.
Is it 2d8?
Because I feel like regardless, the axe will still being used, and it's not gonna be that hard to hit the floorboards.
10 points of damage.
Hey, that's what you needed for the jam.
I rolled pretty low, so I was like,
In one solid swipe with the axe, you break through the rotting floorboards, and you see, as nestled into like a hollowed out cubby of the stump, there is the gemstone that you recognize as being one from the winery that is missing.
does it look easily grabbable?
I mean, it just looks like a clear cut hole that's in there.
Why do
Is
you
there
not
a
trust enough?
broomstick?
Is there a
Same.
broomstick?
I feel like it's
You
a
don't
very-
see a broomstick right now.
Is there a long object that could just?
You could steal Rob.
Roll perception
I'm
check.
not- no, he wouldn't
She
let me
wouldn't.
do that. 13.
13. You do not seemingly find a long armed object
Oh,
that
wait.
could get in and grip.
I will use my scimitar to just not get the gem, but like to
Nudge it.
make sure there's no like weird, grabby, tendrily itemy things. Because you know I've been hit a lot in this house already, and I just want to make sure that I'm not
Alright.
doing anything.
So you pick up the scimitar, and it's not like super shallow, so you do
Oh.
have to reach in a little bit with it. So your hand is still slightly in the cavity.
Mhm.
So when you're reaching in, you at least have enough reaction time to start to pull back, so you can make a dexterity saving throw with advantage.
Mm.
You guys were laughing at me. I know Nicole
Clever.
hates me.
Clever girl.
Okay. 20 total.
20 total. That is what you needed for the PC.
Wow.
This is powerful magic stuff. It's got high DCs, guys. So you make it, and you only take you don't really take that much damage, but
42 points of damage.
Horrible. Please be necrotic.
it's not necrotic.
Radiant.
You take 7 points of piercing damage as your hand that is still partially in there gets like scratched up as these thorns shoot out from within the stump, and then after a bit they seem to like become brittle and fall off, seemingly like a last bit effort from the huts to protect the treasure that was in it.
I step forward again, and with the sun sword, I say, "More hands."
No. And I take the gem and I'm like, look what I got.
Yeah.
Yay.
And now you have that gem as well.
Does anyone else want to investigate? 'Cause,
They
like,
are.
no, is
Oh,
it
in there.
inside?
No,
Because
they're all doing their own thing.
I just did some magic stuff and I'm not very good at regular investigation. Like, I can try, but I don't think it's
I
going to
think
go
you've
really
done
well.
everything that we need.
There was no general investigation or perception check done in the huts. So if you would
Exactly.
like to
Okay.
do so, that is what she is insinuating.
I'll
Wanna help
step
me?
aside and
She came
perception
in and I just was like, you get sense here and you get sense here because you got magic shit. You don't even need the investigation check to look for this.
You can help
I
me
would
look
like
for
to do a
stuff.
perception check. I don't. What am I looking for?
Investigation.
Oh, investigation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'd be investigation.
Oh.
Yeah,
I
but
would
you
like to
can
help
help.
Yelia do a proper investigation.
Roll an investigation check at advantage.
18 total. Not
18.
amazing, but it's good.
Well, you got most of the things in there. You look through and you see a couple of different things. You open one of the cabinets, and falling out from them, there seems to be different like little components or stuff that she may have used in her spellcasting. You find a place that gives a little compartment in one of the drawers that has, I'll say for inventory purposes, around 200 gold points worth of paper and ink.
I didn't have to ask this time.
You also find a journal of sorts that is within that same compartment.
That's gonna be a good read. Cool.
And that's what you guys find in there. The people outside of the house. Vincenzo, is there anything you would like to do to investigate the witch?
I'm getting handsy with a witch.
Okay, make an investigation check for me.
Hey, 18 total.
Alright. You go through her cloaks and stuff like that, and you don't really find too much on her, as you can imagine, since she had left her home quite soon at the start of this battle. Most of her things are probably in the hut. You do find a locket of sorts that when you open it, there's like a picture or like a drawn picture of a small child in it, and that's all you really find on it. It's a very old, kind of like rusted locket, so it's not like nice jewelry. It's
Child. Do I recognize this child?
Roll an intelligence check.
Okay. I think that's me.
All right, so I'll say
Yeah.
you've seen him enough times in the valley
Him.
to be able to pick out certain features of Strahd von Zarovich in the image that is
Ooh.
drawn in the locket. And then that is the amount that you can gather. You can assume that this is baby Strahd.
Strahd. Baby photo.
Embarrassing baby photo of Strahd.
Strahd in a bathtub.
And then Aubrey and Aurora, what would you guys like to do at the skull?
Is the seat or whatever mechanism she used to sit in there or stand in there still there?
It is not the most intact skull anymore. It had taken quite a beating with force damage and fire damage and explosions that it is broken and split in different parts. There is not a control mechanism within it. You can assume that
I'd
she
like to
is
use
feeling her own
all
magic.
of my power that I can gather to try
Uh-huh.
and fix it.
All right, you are trying to fix. Are you using like a mending spell?
I'll use, prestidigitation.
You use prestidigitation to try to fix it.
Oh no, mending! I've got mending. I'll use
Okay.
mending.
You
Can I help
try
him?
to use, yeah, you can also try to help him. Both of you make let's make Arcana checks, both of you separately.
I'm proficient in that.
A 10.
A 10?
I got a 24.
24. Okay, so Aubrey, you realize quite soon that what you guys are doing, the pieces are probably much too large for you to actually be able to mend them. Aurora's still a little bit more determined, though. She thinks she can mend these pieces if she tries hard enough. She spent like 15 or so minutes trying to mend the skull. And it's like at that part where you think you fix something in like cartoons where it's like held together but really broken still, and then as soon as you hold it, it goes like blat and falls apart. That's kind of what happens. You get it, and you get to you mended certain spots, and you think, and then Aurora and Aubrey, you stand back and admire your work, and then Aurora, you go to touch it, and it goes, and just falls back into the muck.
Oh no.
It is a
It's
large
old.
skull that is unfortunately unable to be mended through the mending spell.
I'll look at it, and see if I can find out if she left any like mementos around there
Around the skull.
in a glove box.
A glove box, okay, make an investigation check.
12.
You don't find a glove box, unfortunately. You do see little spots where like arcane sigils are in there that are broken and illegible now because they are partially destroyed. You also see where like there was an engraved little like doodle of like a dead raven and then a stick figure going like this. With a noticeably pointy hat.
Oh,
That's what you find.
I kind of give up Well, nothing I can do.
Unfortunately, it's not the most salvageable item from being put through the ringer, as both figuratively and literally. Alright,
Just wanted to pretend to drive a giant skull.
alright. If you
See,
want
I
to
thought you
pretend
would
to drive it,
get
you can
the
do
sense feed, Put it on me or something.
that. You can put pieces of it on Gentusi and pretend to drive the flying skull. Anyway, that's the encompassment of the situation. What else would you guys like to do? You have pretty much investigated in this area pretty thoroughly.
Wonder to join them in the house.
Yeah.
Are we leaving the house? Or?
I think
Well-
we should. It will be a bit too cramped if everyone else comes in.
Yeah, not
I mean, I
everyone
wouldn't
in your
really
party can
hide.
fit. Yeah.
Should we
I'd probably just
So-
stand by the door and be like, "You guys okay?"
Yeah.
just we'll
Y-
show
You guys,
my-
those of you who
yeah.
are outside of the house, walk by and see Yalia and Genduzi like moving stuff around. Yalia's got her arms full of kind of like a chest and also like a couple of other things. Where Genduzi's also got like a book in his hands.
Look at this.
Esmeralda kind of comes up behind. So, I would suggest that you get out of the slowly sinking house.
Yep.
As you all of you who had not thought about this at this point, begin to see as you are noticeably looking outside. The more weight you're putting on it, the lower in the muck the house begins to go.
Is this like quicksand?
No, it's not like fast like quicksand, but it's like in the case of like, as you can imagine, similarly to the rest of the surroundings around you, and the fact that the ground was quite disturbed with the roots that got uprooted, there's probably a large vacuum of space that's left in the peat that is slowly getting sucked in further, similar like how you guys were when you stood still too long.
Mm. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
So
going to pull out the photo
Oh,
of
okay.
baby Strahd and show everybody what I
Put you
found.
guys on the other map just because.
I don't know if I actually saw the baby that was in the house, but if I
You'd see
did-
it still. It's still there. It's the illusion's still present.
does the illusion look like the picture that Vincenzo is
scar.
showing
Yeah.
us? No, the locket. The
Oh.
baby in the house.
Yeah, the baby looks like the baby illusion in the house looks like the one in the locket.
I thought it was just Richard Strahd, so I was like, what else can happen? Oh,
So,
who wants to set the house on fire?
I mean, it's currently sinking.
Aurora?
Yeah, but come on, we could have a mini bonfire. I'm a bit of a pyromaniac.
True as well, because now it's not magical, so I would
Mhm.
recommend we probably do it from a distance because
From a
heat is
distance.
notoriously very flammable.
Mm.
The gases in the swamp could make it go boom.
Yeah, I probably should have added that as a nice effect of this as you guys were throwing fireballs, but I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
I had a few other things on my mind.
So, should we
But-
go to the path? That be far enough?
Yeah,
Or
go
further
here.
up the path?
or
Like up
here, or
there? I
here,
don't know.
or-
Where?
We could go step on the path near the houses, and then take
Yeah.
shelter kind of in the houses.
Yeah, why not?
Because
That'd
I'm
be fun.
tired. I don't know about you
Hey.
all, but I'm tired. We've been walking all fucking day, and then we come in, we fight this bitch, and she tries to kill all of us.
She did.
Specifically, most of you all, because you guys were all super close together.
She should also feel really tired because I hasted her.
Yes, that's so. I did not need to use this potion, though, Aubrey. Thank you very much. I will return it to you all in case it is useful elsewhere.
Thank you.
She's cool.
Okay,
Lego.
Oh.
so we. Oh,
I will say as well that I forgot to mention inside the house, when you guys were in there, there were cages of ravens that were stuck, cages that have ravens in them, around like 3 or 4 of them, where the ravens are like frantically like squawking and like
Release
I
them.
was gonna say if they were dead, then leave them. But if they're alive, then
they're alive.
Yeah.
We need to let them down.
yeah.
They're
Are we
free, though.
able to free them?
You're able to, I'll say, like, for the sake of what's going on now, you're able to pick them up off of their hooks. They're still in cages right now, but since you are trying to get away from the house, I'll say you're able to grab the 3 cages of them, mostly Genduzi, because Yalia's arms are full. And
Walk out with cages of ravens in
Yeah.
a book.
yeah, 3 cages of ravens and a book on top underneath his chin, and Yalia's got a chest.
Holding one of the other cages and just hopping out.
No, she said there was 3 cages.
Oh, I thought you only had 2.
I said 3 cages of ravens and a book.
I thought you said 2.
So you guys all make your way over to the houses over here. Those of you who would like to.
How many fire things from that distance?
Esmeralda starts kind of preparing a firebolt spell. I don't have big ones, but it'll still be fun.
I'll just shake my fist.
I don't think an Eldritch Blast would do much.
It won't cause fire damage.
I don't.
Does anybody have any spells left for this?
I'm gonna.
I have 1 3rd level spell, so I could fireball.
I do, but I don't have fire spells.
Right,
I also have flaming hands, but I don't think I'm close enough to do that.
Well, if you want to, for the sake of entertainment purposes, if you want to do flaming hands, like when you're leaving to kind of start drying out areas to start kindling, I'll let that happen for sure.
Okay.
And so we'll say that after that, those who want to just cathartically shoot things at the house can feel free to do so. Esmeralda and Aurora, Aurora, you can make an attack roll for your firebolt if you would like to. Esmeralda's will as well. I'll say with advantage.
I'm just gonna minor loot hands on fire.
17 to hit.
17 hit. All right, yeah. With precision, Esmeralda and Aurora target the spot on the hut that you had dried out. And you see, as for a moment, the damage is not too much, as it's not really causing damage to a creature per se, but it is still you see as it begins, there's little embers that begin to react, and after a while it begins to start kindling further as you leave it over time.
Do you like the cool guys don't look at explosions?
Yeah. Except it's a slow burn. It's a slow burn romance, guys.
Please tell me the
yeah.
house wasn't made out of pine.
Yes. So you gather your things, and what would you guys like to do now? You have 3 cages of ravens, a big chest.
No. To speak to the ravens first. Make sure that they're not dangerous.
Should we at least
Okay.
set up camp in one of the buildings?
Yeah.
We also
What?
have this stone, the smooth black stone, that we should get
Is it
Vincenzo
Aurora
to
or
look
Vincenzo?
at.
Oh, is it Vincenzo?
That's all of
Hmm.
pretty much any of the magical items that I hinted at, which was mainly the.
There was
You
the
already know what the
vial,
spell scrolls are. There's the vial of
black stone, the holy
black
symbol.
stuff, the holy symbol, the
Plus the
crossbows,
spell book.
which technically you would usually need to get identified for, but I forgot when I was reading the list of things. And then the stone as well.
The spell
Those
book
are the
be
only ones
magical,
magical.
or was that just a book?
The book was
Oh,
not
look.
magical.
That was just okay.
But it can be copied, I think, if there's spells in it.
Which
By
one? The book
Aurora.
that Genduzi picked up? Or the one that
Spell.
had spells ripped out?
One that spells ripped out.
Yeah, there's no writing in there. It
Okay.
just you see as there was a book, you've seen Aurora's spell book enough times to kind of be able to be like, this looks like a spell book. It's got arcane shit on it. Because
Does
you
it
can
still
see
have pages in that are empty? Not like that can be used.
yeah,
for
it's still
spell.
got like empty pages in it. You can see as like the ones that are ripped slightly, there are like remnants of incredibly unfinished like glyphs, nothing that could actually be used for spell transference at all, but that's like how you can gather it's a spell book, is like the type of book, your association with Aurora and knowledge of that stuff
Cool.
that you've gathered over time.
So yeah, set up camp.
Okay. I'm
Resting.
assuming Leoman's tiny hut is being cast.
Aurora.
Psst, Dylan.
Why is he frozen?
Is he frozen?
I think he might be frozen.
Let it go.
Oh, wait. He can cast it through ritual anyway, so we're just. Oh no! I'll go check to make sure he has it prepared. Did you guys know that I didn't know that wizards prepared their spells? I didn't think they prepared them. I thought that you had to know all of them.
Oh.
I was very confused about wizards, and my friend finally explained it to me. I'm like, it makes sense now. Dylan, I'm assuming that for making camp, you will cast Leoman's tiny hut.
Yeah.
So you cast Leoman's tiny hut in one of the buildings, and begin to set up camp. We'll just make y'all a little huddle over here.
Hmm.
Little team huddle. There's your little team huddle.
Didn't even see Esmeralda.
Yeah, I forgot to go and change her back to the one that's the background.
I don't know. To get mass cure wounds too. Because Aubrey, do you already have that?
Yeah. Really.
I do not.
If
No.
if you have nobody in your party that has access to it in the spell list, I am allowing Vincenzo to make checks to
Yeah.
do those spells.
Because he has his magic item.
He's
that
a
lets him do
lore.
it.
Well, also no, but he's also a lore bard. So
Oh,
technically,
yes.
in my eyes, he would have access to it regardless.
Okay.
So I will, for the sake of the fact, like how they say it is like, if you eventually have access to it, well, he technically has access to it when he chooses his stuff, but
Mhm.
it'll
It's a-
just be a hot
It's a
minute.
word clerical druid spell, so yeah.
So only he can
Yeah.
learn it.
I will give it to Vincenzo then.
Woohoo.
And I will keep a hold of the Revivify.
Okay. My
That's
flute
okay
can
with
do it
everyone.
too, so
What?
my
Yeah.
flute can do mass
This one
healing,
just
so-
doesn't cost a spell slot. That's the bonus of that,
Yeah.
is that you aren't using a spell slot for it.
What else was there?
You want me to identify something?
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah. The
Black
the
orby
black
thing.
orb or the black stone. The vial of oily texture. And the holy symbol. Oh, and the pouch of 10 plus 1 crossbow bolts. But we already know what they do.
Yeah.
Do we have any crossbowers?
Yeah, some of you guys have crossbows.
I
Yeah.
did.
Has a crossbow. You have a crossbow?
Yeah. It's equipped. I used it to kill it.
Well,
At the
I'm going
house.
to sit down with.
Alrighty.
Revivify is a 3rd level spell.
Can I go and sniff the liquid? Like just for the smell, not like inhale.
Yeah, when he's identifying it and like pouring over it, you kind of open it and sniff it. It's got kind of like an oily smell to it.
Ew.
Ew.
Yeah. Yeah.
Take the notebook.
Just like to say yuck and walk away.
I'd like to approach you and ask for the book.
Do you want to say that louder for the class?
Alright, so as you spend the next 30 minutes going over ritually casting Identify, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
So you pour over these items and sorry, I'm trying to get the damn picture for Esmeralda. I'm multitasking. And I had my file thing open. There we go. Hey guys, you can see Esmeralda now.
Hey.
I just gotta delete her other icon.
I can see it. What else was
We
there?
can see her now. Yay!
As a background.
The holy symbol is a holy symbol of a god that is you are unable to determine.
Okay.
Is no particular magical effects. It is the same kind of holy symbol as most clerics would use for a focus for their magic. Nothing particularly outstanding for that one. The oil that you get is a oil of sharpness,
Ooh.
and the stone that you get is a stone of good luck.
I hand this stuff back and let them know what it is.
So I will go and find the name of the items for you all.
Stone of good luck.
Basically, that one you can assume kind of what it does.
Yeah. Gives
You
you
get
the
to, like,
luck feat.
reroll.
I think it gives you the luck feat, or at least it doesn't give you the feat.
Oh yeah,
Like,
I
you
know.
won't be able to keep the feat,
Yeah,
but
you
you will have a luck point, I think.
Is it that one?
I think.
Is that kind of like the thing in the Critical Role campaign where they look into the
Or-
That one is a specific like effect, I think.
Oh.
If it's this one that's in the manage equipment thing, then it gives you
Plus
+1 bonus ability.
Oh wait,
bonus
actually, yeah, that's right. I forgot that it's not a luck one.
Oh.
I think I remember looking it up, and I was like, oh, it doesn't give you luck. That's that's confusing.
A lucky stone. That
So, yeah. Yeah. So it's a polished agate. It's on your purse. While it's on your person, it requires attunement. You gain a +1 bonus to ability check and saving throws.
What?
I said you don't need it.
Hmm.
Really good saving throws.
Yeah, but I also roll really badly.
And the oil of sharpness.
2 minutes to do with dexterity or something.
Oil of sharpness. This clever gelatinous oil sparkles with tiny, ultra-thin silver shards. The oil can coat 1 slashing or piercing weapon, or up to 5 pieces of slashing or piercing ammunition. Applying this oil takes 1 minute. For 1 hour, the coated item is magical and has a +3 bonus to attack and damage rolls.
Hmm.
It is 1 use, though.
Hmm. I think it's melee people. I don't think I'm gonna use. I'm not gonna use it.
I could probably take one of them, but if you would like me to use it in a fight against Strahd, I know at least one of my weapons. Considering some of you don't seem to have magical items, except Yali could also use it to make her scimitar useful in battle.
Yeah, because my son's radiant, so
Don't you have like
Okay,
plus
so-
11 or something? Dex now?
Hmm?
Don't you have like plus
I have
11?
+10.
Oh.
But it's not magical, her scimitar. So should she attack something that
Yeah.
is resistant to magical bludgeoning or non-magical bludgeoning and slashing damage, then it would still take half damage from her attacks. Even if she attached a smite to it, then it would only take the smite damage. It would not take the piercing or slashing if she did not make it magical.
I have a magical weapon spell now.
I know, but you haven't cast it either yet. This doesn't cost a spell slot. Magic stuff sometimes is just nice because it doesn't cost a spell slot.
Yeah.
That you then can use 4 more smites that you can apply after you hit.
Okay, so I'm gonna put my. I don't have a hat. I'm gonna put my dagger in the ring and ask if I can have the Stone of Luck. Because
Wait, what dagger?
no, I'm just saying it's a phrase.
I thought you meant one of the daggers that you literally
I
had.
thought he meant that too, like he was offering one of the daggers as trade. This is the first time I have learned of this saying. I'm sorry.
It is hat in the room. I don't know why I said dagger.
Because I don't have a hat. I'm gonna ask for the stone. If anybody else wants it, then we can rock, paper, scissors.
I would rather you all take most of the items, considering you probably have things to do after this if you survive this encounter with Strahd.
Do you not?
I'll figure it out. This is main goal at the moment. My main goal is to kill Strahd.
Fair point. Okay.
So
After that, who knows? Maybe I will go and figure out anything else. And you see as she kind of like leans back against them and she's cleaning herself off from the muck that she got splashed with. Genduzi, you're still kind of coated in like similar muck. And she's like cleaning off her like red coats. Pardon me for a second, and I do not mean to alarm you, but I do need to clean off my leg. And you see as she reaches underneath her like pant legs, and you see as one of her legs that you didn't really notice before because it's very intricately crafted. She detaches it, and you see as this very intricately crafted prosthetic is how she has to clean it up. It gets a little wonky sometimes when I don't clean it.
The sudden interest in Dylan, but he like learned forward so quickly. Oh.
How did none of us notice?
Because none of you guys had paid attention to these things. No, you haven't asked
you got a
anything.
prosthetic leg.
Now you guys made perception checks or ask her any questions.
Making a perception check to see anything else on her body.
Sure, go ahead.
We could probably like accept Strahd as a companion and not notice.
You guys are very like, oh, you're our new companion? Cool. Just hang out with us. We're not going to ask you backstory questions at all.
her leg is even different in the picture that she's been using for her. We never noticed.
It is partially my fault because I picked a bad image, but
16 total.
16, you do not notice anything else
Okay.
particularly startling.
Doesn't have a face.
She's one of those faceless demons from Japan that you guys didn't notice until now.
I would
Well, go on.
I'd like to walk over to Aurora and be like, look what I found, and give her the pen and paper that I found.
The ink and
Yeah.
the
yeah,
200
ink.
gold's worth of paper and ink.
Paper,
Oh, I put pape and ink.
because you're confusing.
Pape.
So there's that. Because I want to go through the list and make sure everything's
Um,
sorted.
whilst he was doing identify, I wanted to speak to the ravens
Okay.
and just ask how they got trapped there and if they're good.
You
Wait.
speak to them. They don't. You don't really. You speak through speak with animal. But it's not as necessary. Because they are rare ravens. So we came to keep an eye on her, and well, got a little too close, and now, can you let us out of these cages, please?
Would you like some help?
Is any of them Bertha?
To it.
Is any of them Bertha?
You ask.
Yeah.
None of them introduce themselves as Bertha.
Okay.
I open the cage doors.
I was
as
trying to be
if I
helpful
can.
because there's more than one, so you could
They are currently locked.
I
Which is what I
attempt to
assumed.
pick the locks of the cage doors.
I see
Alright
what he's
then.
doing. Try and help as well, because you're being so stubborn about it.
Lockpicking is a dexterity check, I think.
Have the tools for it.
You don't have
Wait.
the tools for it.
It's
Yeah,
these
these
tools, isn't it?
tools.
Yeah, yeah, I
It's
do have
these
it.
tools,
I-
yeah. I was about to say, I'm like, pretty sure you got
It's
them.
still. What?
Surely it's sleight of hand.
Is it?
No, you
I
clicked on something
forget.
else. Don't worry, Chris. I think this was it.
Wait, why is this
I
telling
think
me
it's
to add?
a dexterity check. If picking the lock would be the action with uncertain outcome, then the relevant ability check is Dexterity Thieves Tools. So you
Efficiency.
use your proficiency because you're proficient with your Thieves Tools in addition to your Dexterity modifier.
Oh, that's
11.
bad. 2 plus
11.
Yeah.
Unable to pick the locks.
Wait, 2 plus so 6. 14.
Are you also trying to pick the locks?
I have thieves tools.
I just was wondering. I didn't hear it. You
Yeah.
also are unable to pick the locks.
Can we try? Oh, actually, not bad.
Please
You can
It's
try
the
again if you would like.
Can I move on to another one and try?
Yes, if you would like to.
I'd like to try on the same one again.
Okay.
Never mind. Never mind.
Bad, bad.
9 total.
You start to feel as your things begin to almost bend, so you stop.
Mm.
Wait, doesn't have some? No, I'm thinking of a critical role person. I was like, I'm sure someone has this thing where they can open things just by telling it to open. But
It's called the knock spell, and I don't
Yeah.
think any of you have it.
I
13.
considered getting it, but
No, it's
decided
not
not to.
It is also
Oh.
a very but it is also a really unstealthy way to get locks open. Because it's like a loud, audible sound is heard for like 20 feet.
Yeah, it's like everyone everywhere can hear this.
Pretty much. But it
I
is
don't-
mainly helpful for magical locks.
No
As
more.
you begin to try to attempt to open these, and they behave less like normal locks, and you feel like this force kind of pushing against your picks as though it's
Oh.
magical.
Oh, they are magical. Oh, well, this is great because we're about to sleep, aren't we? So I can use all of my level 3 spells to dispel the magic.
When you cast a spell, a loud knock audible from as far away as 300 feet.
Yep, that's why people don't pick lock.
Okay,
Wow.
I only have 2 dispel magics available.
I
Let
have
me check
2
really
more,
quick.
so I can do.
Let me check something really quick just to see if. So you cast dispel magic on one of them, we'll say for the first one, and then I'm gonna make sure that it's like a thing that actually can get affected by it. I don't know if dispel magic affects a arcane lock.
By the way, could you?
Well, because see, here's the thing: you can unlock it through. There's a couple of different ways. It makes things just more difficult to open.
Oh, okay.
So
Just like makes the
what it
DC
does,
higher.
yeah. So that's pretty much what it does. It's like, while affected by the spell, the object is more difficult to break or force open. The DC to break or pick any locks on it is increased by 10.
Wow.
Right.
Um, and the only information that they tell me in my book is it requires a knock spell or a successful DC check for either if you want to try to pry them open or if you want to try to pick the lock. So I'm gonna probably say that the dispel magic doesn't really have that much of effect. I will get back to you later after research on it.
We're gonna have to do some strength
In
stuff.
that
now.
case, I'm gonna tell them we're really struggling here.
Move back.
Move back?
Yeah, so that we can like.
Yeah, they kind of move back in there.
Yeah.
Okay, and
I
then I'm
know
gonna
what's
try
wrong
and
with
like.
Just use your back muscles to try to rip them.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and.
With that advice, can we get advantage?
I was just gonna rage for.
If you guys would
advantage.
just like to
get
also,
advantage.
Esmeralda will come over and try to help you with yours.
Ah, yeah.
She's reasonably got an okay strength modifier.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Wait,
rage to give
so,
myself
she-
advantage on.
You can do your own, but I'm just saying she's reasonably someone that could actually help you with this.
Wait, what?
Instead of like, let's say if Vincenzo or Aurora went to go and try to help with their
So
strength
we're doing
modifiers.
Does she got
Advantage.
advantage?
Yeah, you got advantage.
Both of us have advantage.
Oh,
This is just strength,
Oh.
right?
Yeah.
oh.
21.
You guys, Ganduzi by himself, Esmeralda and Yalia together, you guys are able to wrench open 2 of the cages, leaving the third one.
All together now.
Oh. You're just gonna help me this time.
Yeah, sure.
Do I get spell slots? Like now that we've leveled up, do I get them, or is it like after the long rest is like when I would get them?
You're fine with the new ones. I just didn't want the return of like the ones that you guys had expelled.
Oh, okay.
Like the expelled spell slots that you use during the battle, those don't return until the long rest, is what I would like. But the new ones are fine.
Oh,
22 on the last cage.
Nice.
Also,
Okay. See.
you Captain America with the log, kind of
Oh.
like rip it.
the question:
Yes.
would I have been able to stick my like finger in the cage, or?
Probably, yeah.
What'd you look at?
If I would have asked her to grab onto my hand, could I dimension door her out?
You could have probably, but I would say sure. I would have been fine with that.
Next time, though.
Next time. Trust me, there will be plenty of times in the future where situations like that will likely occur.
I really need to increase my
But
strength.
you're able to
I'm
open
really
them all up and release them.
Cool.
Okay,
Use that
well,
strength.
so we haven't really eaten or been fed in a couple of days, so we're gonna go, if you don't mind, back to our homes.
No, let them
No offense, but we haven't seen our family in days.
go. That's fine.
Oh, would you be going near the winery?
No, but we can pass notes on our way.
Worry about it.
I'm from Valaki.
Mm.
Lysithia is over from Barovia. Jim's from Kresk.
Jim.
You have such
So
exotic names.
Jimmy, exotic.
you guys are getting Boblin the Goblin names right now, okay?
Wait, Valaki's where the shopkeeper man is, right?
No. Shopkeeper
No.
Man is in Village of Barovia.
Oh, is that where one of them's from, though?
Yeah.
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 Could you maybe put a good word in with the shopkeeper in Barovia?
We don't. We
Just for
I can
pants.
try.
You know.
tell him that the ones who knock saved your life. and
Okay.
and that Genduzi is amazing, and he
Tell
freed
him
you.
sorry from the crazy people that came to his shop and threatened him.
Okay, I can do my
Thanks.
best with that.
Tell Danica we're doing
Okay. We'll take care of that then. You guys
Tell
have a
my
good
mom I
evening.
love her.
Bye. Bye. Safe travels.
Bye. They fly away.
Did they even thank us?
Shh. Leave him alone.
You
Go
know,
and sleep
when you've been
now.
starved for a few days, sometimes you just don't really think about the intricacies of politeness when you have the ability to fly away home.
So
What
can I-
time is it? Is it late now? I
It's
feel like
late
it's
now.
like
It's super
oh,
late
okay.
now.
Oh, okay.
Can I
Let's
just
say like
clarify,
9
did we get the
o'clock.
stone?
9.
We should sleep.
9, 10 o'clock, around
Can
that
we just
time, it's late.
clarify though, did I get the stone? Or did anybody else want to rock, paper, scissors?
If you
for
guys
it?
would like to
I'd
do
like
this,
to-
I'm getting some water really quick because I'm thirsty.
I would.
You're not having the stone.
I will try.
No, you're
Yes, I
you're
will.
off. No, it's
Mate.
out of those.
No, you didn't make that a roll before.
Mate, you don't need it.
Mate, I
Featuring-
roll like terrible.
I don't care.
Okay, but I'm a healer. I need these things. / I protect people with my
I'm
aura of
taking the stone.
protection. No.
The
Alright,
stone is mine.
alright. One day.
What does
I'm
the
gonna-
stone even do again?
Plus
It's
1 to
plus
attacks
1
and
to-
saving throws.
It's not attacks.
What? I thought it was.
It's
Ability checks and
ability
saving
checks and
throws.
saving throws.
Yeah.
But it'll reduce my negatives and give me at least
Oh, yeah.
something on my zeros.
Fine. Or you could just stand within 10 feet of me and you'd get +3 anyway.
But then again, fireball.
Yeah. But he has an advantage on dexterity checks.
That doesn't matter.
It does, though, because it's an area of effect, which means it would be a
No, I'm
dexterity.
saying no.
Not
it's-
always.
I thought it is for fireball.
Oh,
though.
I have to
Well,
attune to
there
this.
are
Yes.
some area of effects that will be wisdom.
Right.
They're not as common as dexterity, but they do exist.
Fun.
There you go. I have +10 on stealth now.
I hate you.
I essentially have.
Thing is, your dexterity is so annoying because it's less than
You
mine.
have expertise in like 4 things.
Me?
Why do you need another +1?
Oh, wait,
What?
are you talking about me?
No, I'm talking to Genduzi.
I have 2 expertise.
Oh, it's only 2 expertise
Yeah.
at level 3? Okay. I thought it
have
was
none.
4.
None.
Exactly.
0. Zilch.
Vincenzo has.
Yeah, but he's
2,
got jack
but
of all
he's also got
trades.
jack of all trades.
Vincenzo would be like our last choice for this.
Yeah.
To be fair, after you reminded me of all your negative stuff, I feel like it makes sense to give it to you, as much as I hate to say it.
Yeah.
I was looking at saving throws.
But,
more
like,
than
When is he gonna use religion, nature, or history check?
I definitely need those.
Investigation, I feel like, is like your biggest thing because you just don't
I like to
attempt it.
investigate.
Well, it could be useful for the investigation to make it a -1 rather than a -2, but other than
Mhm.
that, it's not very helpful. I don't think you need a +9 to perception or
definitely do.
athletics.
Definitely do.
With your new mile wide, able to see things.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the one you picked?
Yeah. So that went to me. That's an unknown god. May I take the old spell book?
Wow. Sure, I guess.
Thank you.
What? No, tell me why.
It's really weird seeing Brett without his headset on.
It
What?
is usually the state in which we see Brett is with his headset on.
He has ears.
Hold on. I need to clean them.
It's like,
No!
oh wait, here. Ah.
I don't want the stone, but I want rock, paper, scissors. See?
That's what I was gonna do, but then he was just like, "No, you're not gonna get it." I was trying to be funny, and he just wasn't allowing it. And he was like, "No, I have negatives, and I need to make some positives." And so I was like, "You know what? I'm done. You can have it."
Do a 3-way battle?
No, I'm not.
I
ready.
got
Okay.
yogurt while I was gone, and there's a seed that's like, you know, when like a seed barely gets stuck in your like tooth.
Hmm.
Or it's
That's
just,
always the worst.
just bothering enough to when you like teeth touch, you can tell that it's there, and you're like, ooh,
Actually, like tomato seeds.
mine's strawberry seeds.
An hour and a half ago, my mom's like, "I might bring you some watermelon," so I guess I'm not getting watermelon.
An hour and a half later, there's no watermelon update.
Yep.
See, I feel
I
like
mean,
he's
Okay, well,
learned, but she'd still want to take some of the gold that she found. It's like a handling fee.
okay, but like, think of it this way. In my old group, the way that we decided who got items is we'd make sure everyone has about the same amount of items, so they have like attuned and whatnot. So like, this should either go to me or Aurora, even though neither of us would use it. Which I always hated because I was like, "Oh yeah, I could use this item." It's like, no, you have like 3 magic items already, and it's like, I'll give you 2 of my other magic items if I get this one.
Whereas then there was me in my my last campaign with my druid, where I just gave everyone else the magic items, and I had
Yep.
got to the end of the campaign without upgrading my individual armor once because I never
Wow.
changed my armor because I was a fucking beast shape every single time. in
Yeah,
a fight.
that sounds like my barbarian druid. It's like, yeah, I'm either in beast shape or I have unarmored defense, so I don't need armor. But I had like all the magic items because no one else could use them because everyone was a caster. So I kept getting all the items where it's like +2 to strength or like +2 to con or like a +1 AC. And I'm like, guys, I have no use for all this. I want this one item. I'll give you everything else.
Not as good as that.
So you guys will have all of the chances in the future to definitely procure think of words, procure magical items of various kinds.
Are we gonna run into Punat Soul?
There's probably going to be a type in the capital city, you can assume. This is a
That's
very
cool.
high magic campaign.
Well, I know that much at least.
Yeah. So you can, all of you are aware of at least times where you've passed by some of the regular cities where there are usually magic shops that are dotted, whether they're just like small areas for people to get components from, or actual like shops that have magical items that are regularly sold there.
300 to me.
Okay, my question is, why is Aurora so broke, but Yalia's just like rolling in the dough?
Find out in a second. So I'm going to give 1,000 of the gold
Yeah, we have a group.
to Genji and
It's Vincenzo. He
Aurora
has
doesn't do a lot of the investigation for some of the because
Vincenzo.
there was a time when Dylan wasn't here and I was Jaegering his characters, so as a result, I often, usually when people aren't here, I don't want to do anything for their characters unless it's specifically requested of me, and therefore I'm just like, you're here, I'm gonna put you over here, and then I'm not gonna touch you for a little while.
I just
I
find it
don't really
so funny.
investigate a lot anyway.
No.
Hey, we gave you the Pearl
I
Power.
probably should.
So yeah, I'm gonna keep 300 gold for myself, and I'm going to give 1,000 to the group fund. But I'm gonna make the gemstones fair game to anyone who needs them as a component, because I don't know if that's a thing that people might need.
There are no diamonds in this one, as a side
True.
note.
Technically
You are-
speaking,
Yeah.
I think I avoided one of my spells that I wanted to get because I didn't have enough gemstones. I didn't want to be like, I can't use this spell yet.
Yeah, that's the big that's the big thing. Is so how I usually think, as long as it's one of the spells that requires consumed items, those are the components that I need. I don't really care enough about Greater Restoration to make you guys pay the fee for it, because there's not too many situations for Greater Restoration in my part. There's not really for Revivify or anything, but those are much more like important like things that are, yeah, so like those ones definitely are the main like component users. Then there's also like other ones that require components that you would actually have to go and like purchase. But usually I don't see the point, especially like with like when you guys are transported to a place like this where there's not very like many places for you to go and procure your components, to like limit you guys on spells. So in the future, you're welcome to do it. If it's a spell that has like a price point that is consumed by some kind of specific item that is consumed in the spell casting, then that would be required to be done.
So I was looking through spells when I was picking my new spell for this level, and one of the requirements is a red dragon scale, and I'm like, could a draconic sorcerer with the red dragon ancestry use their own scales?
I would be fine with it. Yeah, as long as it doesn't get like consumed with the spell, I'm fine with it.
Usually it only state like there's two times when things are consumed: when it states a price or when it says it's consumed.
Yeah, pretty much. So that's why in the future you're picking spells, feel free to pick whatever ones. I'm not going to worry too much about, you know, when you cast like Fireball and you need the components.
The bat guano and sulfur.
Bat guano. Yeah, you don't need to always go and look for bat guano and sulfur. That's fine with me not to do, because that is not always capable of being located. Even though you guys are in prime bat guano territory, okay? There's plenty of bats in Barovia.
So you have
Specifically a part in Castle Ravenloft where it said there's an inch of bat feces on the ground. And I'm like, ugh.
I'd like to look at the gems and see if there are any really pretty ones.
There's a couple really pretty ones. Actually, they're all really pretty because their price points are actually pretty good. They're a very nice clarity. To them, they're not rough. They're very well polished and cut, and so some of them there's like maybe like 2 sapphires, a ruby, I'll say, and there's an opal in there, and then like I don't know, we'll say that there's an emerald in there too, but no diamonds.
I'd like to take the sapphires and the emerald, if you don't mind.
I've left them on the ground. I've walked away.
I'd take the opal.
Who wants the crossbow bolts? There are 10.
Am I the only person here that has a crossbow?
I think
I got one
Vincenzo
too.
does. We're in Crossbow City. It was a different ammunition when I got this thing. I changed it to crossbows because we're in Crossbow City over here. A couple of you do have crossbows, though.
Because we went to the house and there was like 5 crossbows. We were just like,
That's
okay.
right. That's why everyone has crossbows. But also, you guys like have it's a simple weapon, I think, as well, and almost everyone has proficiency in it.
Proficiency in everything because we're cool.
I gave my crossbow away though because I didn't use it.
Like in the thick of
I mean, even Ferric had a crossbow. So.
I think it's where you got yours from. Didn't you? You took Ferric's, didn't you?
Oh yeah. Someone took Ferric's.
I think.
I don't remember. No, it's fine.
I guess not.
I guess I'll take them.
Can I have one?
I
Sure.
have literally no use for them, so you can take them.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys can split them up if you would like. They're not like designated in this bundle. You,
5 and 5.
Yeah.
if you,
Five.
3 and 7.
3 and 7.
Okay.
so yeah, you can write down 3 +1 crossbow bolts. It'll probably give you enough. You'll have to find the item, and then you can add how many you have in there, like the quantity of
Small
them.
boat. Go.
Who's keeping that holy symbol that we don't know the god for? It's pretty much just not
Can
of
I
use
see
at
it
the
to at
moment
least see if I might be able to recognize it?
when Chanzo has it.
May I?
Hmm. Okay.
She just sits and stares at it for a second. Nah, I tried. I don't know what it is.
Ooh, I'll have it. I want to collect jewelry.
So, is there any chance that my affiliation with my Solar would let me know a bit more, or at least be able to call on the Solar if he knows anything?
If you would like to, you can to attempt to
Would it
do
just
so.
be
I'll
a
say
history
if you
check?
call on if you are calling on your patron to do so, make a charisma check for me.
Okay.
Or make a persuasion check for me to call upon your patron to aid you in this. Because it's not the same as when you're calling on a deity.
I mean, I guess.
A patron and a warlock is an agreed upon agreement, and then a cleric and a deity is worship.
So, that's a 2024.
So yeah, you can roll for religion if you would like. You'd have advantage on this one, I'll say.
Okay, that's a religion check. That's 17.
17. Look at my book real quick.
You know the. Do you think it's not magical, is it?
No.
Okay.
Sorry. You see, you
Bless you.
turn it over, and in the back, you're kind of looking at it, and it's the holy symbol is a symbol of a fire in a stone hearth. You're looking over it, and you're kind of like trying to think about things you might have read, and in the back of your mind, you hear the name Boldre echoed in the back of your minds.
Boldre. I'm going to try and pull up my notes and write that down.
How's that spelled?
BOLDREI.
Oh, it's close.
BOLDREI.
Ari.
I actually know that name. She is a goddess of community and home, a life goddess.
Right.
Likely a cleric of hers that she had, a life cleric of sorts, wore this before. She is a deity from a place called Eberron, I believe.
Is that on our name?
No.
Okay. Didn't think so.
Eberron's the place with all the cool technology.
Eberron's one of the other D&D worlds. It's like a Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse situation. I hope you guys know of D&D. That's Mordenkainen is like the most prominent figure in one different area, and then they just are like, he's in Curse of Strahd. I'm like, oh, thanks. Of course, your characters wouldn't know this. You just know him as weird wizard dude that tried to kill you. That was that was really confused, and then had a big mansion.
Turned out to be quite nice.
So, like, what was the building that I walked into at first?
You walked into. Are you asking the party this? Or are you
Like-
asking...
Like, what was this place? Like, when we first met?
Well,
Yeah. The Silver Dragon place?
Yeah.
it was
fortress.
a fortress that apparently a group of paladins or worshippers, I guess, a lot of them were probably paladins, I don't know. They were led by a silver dragon named Argenvost, is what we have gathered, and so that was where their place was. You came probably close by, so you came pretty much smack dab in the middle of the valley.
Okay. She's just now realizing that she should probably be asking more questions.
Oh my gosh.
Currently, from when I met these people, they were in a old abbey run by a corrupt deva that called himself the abbot, that had a bunch of people that were turned into animals from a curse, mongrel folk of some kind that he took care of, and he kind of was very threatening, but kind of like in the patronizing kind of way, trying to help people. And then also, then there were werewolves in a cave, and that's where they got the sword. And then I think that was it. I've only been with you for the werewolves and for the deva.
Hasn't it been fun?
Admittedly, a little. I don't know the rest of them. They have not told me either.
Huh.
They're not the most talkative bunch of people that will inquire. I feel as though I learned more from Arya than I have from them so far.
Anyway, I think we should get some.
Don't on. We're all calling you out.
Kit, so we're going to sleep now.
So, anyone else going to sleep?
Um,
You gonna make watches? Or take
I would
watches?
like to take a watch,
Why?
even if
I
no
mean,
one-
I don't technically need to sleep, guys. I can just take a watch.
We'll take the watch.
You can take some time off. I'll
Read a book.
watch.
Yeah. You still
Then
need to
you-
take time to rest, though, I think, as well. Like,
I
even though
can
you
do
don't need
light
sleep.
activities,
Yeah.
like reading a book.
Yeah. It's the... But it still is, like, considered, like, a rest of sorts. Like, so...
Yes. Like, I can't just be running around and then be like, oh,
Yeah.
there's 8 hours.
Yeah. I'll take a watch if no one else wants to take a watch after
Oh.
it, so at least it's...
I thought Vincenzo said he was going to do one. Did I make
Oh,
that?
No,
no,
he said-
I can if you want me to.
Don't worry. This
Okay.
was fine.
I do not think that we're probably going to be in any danger, though, considering we are in a bubble that is most likely not really changeable, and the person that could have done something about the bubble is dead in the mud.
I'd like to see her try and get into my bubble.
Hey, I've seen it done before. It's not. It's very entertaining. But you all get ready, get to go to bed, and begin your rest. Those who are taking watches, please roll perception checks for me.
Whilst I'm taking my watch,
Yes.
I'm gonna take out the old spell book
Mm-hmm.
Also, the journal that no one asked me to give away.
Oh, you said we'd done with
and-
everything, so I didn't.
And
You're so
I'm gonna take
funny.
one of my daggers and I'm gonna like scoop up it, like, or get it dirty as I can, like in like the mud. And I'm gonna like open the journal up and like in the spell book I'm gonna try and copy some of the letters.
Oh, okay.
Just I need to learn.
Make a. It would be an
It's fine.
intelligence check. So I'm gonna assume that when you're doing your watch, you're not actually really keeping watch.
Yeah, no, I'm not watching. But
I
I do have 19 passive perception now.
You have a good
so
passive, so it's your passive perception, but you're not actively keeping watch.
I got a 14 on my intelligence check.
We're
Wait,
-1
no.
now.
It's not that minus. Is it -1?
It's ability checks.
Yeah, but it's minus
It's still an
2
ability check. If
Okay,
it's
so
a
yeah,
intelligence check, is a ability check.
Those are
Okay.
skills.
yeah, so 14.
14.
Does that
I'll
mean-
say it
Acceptable.
takes you a little bit because you're not used to writing. So like you start off with really big letters, and you get through like 5 of them on one page. But you're
Do
able
they
to. You're practicing. They look
Cool.
okay to you.
Do you know?
You don't know how they're gonna look elsewhere.
Okay.
But you are practicing. They look comparably similar, at least. It does seem like you are copying the letters. However, some of them are really long words, and you don't. And they kind of start to drift onto other pages as you're copying the words.
I'm gonna end up accidentally like writing out a spell and it'll activate, we'll die.
Esmeralda got a 18 for her perception check. Does not have any issues on her watch. Or Aubrey, what is your check?
I got a whopping 9.
I thought
You
were
also
gonna
don't seem to notice anything. It seems to go by. Those who are awake during this time, you do sense as like those clouds of mosquitoes you saw in like the distance sometimes go pass over, and some of them do kind of like butt up against the bottle and then like fly away after noticing that their points are worthless. But you'll take your rest. You restore your spell slots, any HP that you have used. But your long rest is had.
Nice.
The 8 hours expended in the tiny hut breaks, and you are greeted with a already kind of brighter day because you had slept in later than you usually do because of how late you were up. You look around at each other. Then at some point during your time when you're gathering your things, you do see off, or Genduzi's the first one to see it. Because you see off a while away, there seems to be a bird flapping wings that's flying towards you. Closer, it shows to be a raven, and then they drop close to you, and it is oh my god, I forgot her name. It's Muriel. As you see her take her human form again. Hello, it is good to see you all again. I am happy to report that the ravens that you so kindly released are back at home. So thank you for that. I am here to deliver a message and to also collect a package that was requested of me. So she hands over a letter to whoever wants to take it. Yalia grabs it.
because she's smarter than.
So you get the letter. I was also requested by the lady Aria to return the items that were lent to you.
Damn it.
Mhm.
plan
That
has
plan
all lots of-
failed.
Yeah.
So it's the belt and
The belt and the dagger.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
I'm sure you will understand that the need for it is more important. Oh, and also she gave me this package for you, and she hands a package to Aubrey and to Esmeralda. And then so you were left with wrapped packages as well as a enclosed letter. If you do not mind, I am going to be returning as I am going to be quite busy. Yes?
give her the gem. Because if she's going to go there, she might as well take the gem
Oh,
with
yes,
her.
of course, I can take that as well. I
Strong
will
verb.
happily. Everyone will be quite happy. Well,
Human.
I can carry it in my hybrid form. And you
I
see
mean,
as
if I
she
can
shifts
carry a
back.
person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She shifts back into her hybrid form, which is around the same size as a human, but with the animal-like features of the raven.
I guess I'll remove the
Do it.
dagger and the...
I bid you all adieu. Have a wonderful time. Please be safe.
You
And then
too.
she flaps away off towards the direction of the winery once again.
So what now? Because I thought we
I
were
got
going
these
to go
off
and
you.
visit.
right? I got these off
Yes,
you,
you
right?
did.
I give the other 2 daggers back to Yalia.
Right. Because I
And you
thought
were
we
left
were
with letters and packages and a book that nobody asked about.
Wait, what? A
The book that Ganduzi has that he hasn't told anybody about.
See, this is the
Oh.
thing. I was going to ask this in the morning because obviously I carried it.
You did.
I-
You would notice.
I thought you.
I had the journal the whole time.
But I
You
found
had
the
the
journal.
spellbook.
She did find it because
I'm
you were
looking
aiding her investigation check.
Found that. So I'm going
Yeah.
to go
I gave
to
it to you to carry because she had her hands full.
Exactly.
Exactly. So I'm going to go to you and be like, "Hey, dude,
Yeah.
what happened to the journal?
Journal.
Don't lie to me because I know you're bad at lying."
Book. You were carrying it when you came out, Ganduzi.
Oh, that one. And I hand it to her.
Thank you.
Esmeralda is just waiting, tired of waiting, and she just starts opening her package. They always say to read the letter before the package, but since no one who has the letter is reading it, I'm just going to open it.
Alright, the letter.
Mean. Can do see. Wow.
Do you read the letter,
Like
or
to go- I'd first like to go over to Esmeralda and see what she's got. I'm very excited.
all right? You go over to Esmeralda and you see as she has now, in this bundle there is tightly packed pieces of warm weather clothing similar to the ones you received from the Kreskovs.
Excellent.
And then I'm assuming you read the letter afterwards.
I read it in my best presentation.
All right. So here is the letter you receive.
Ooh.
on. Aurora.
I can read it as well, though.
Wow, that was quick.
So,
Alright.
Ooh.
you can recognize that the first thing is that the top of it does say from Aria. And then you open it up, and the lettering is not the best. Very messy handwriting. Some of the letters are like of varying sizes. She either doesn't seem like she has much experience with writing, or she doesn't do it often, or if it was intentional, of which you don't know. But it's not the best handwriting. But you're smart enough to understand it, so. Hello all. I have been told by nearby were-ravens that you were successful in destroying Babali Saga. You have my congratulations as well as best wishes for your safety. As you begin to ramp up your quest to destroy Strahd, I would like to give you all the peace of mind that I, Rictavio, and Ismark, and other Were-Ravens are going to do our best to help you in these matters, as apparently the situation in Vallaki is reaching ahead. As we speak, I have met up with Rictavio, and we travel to meet Ismark in the town with a few guards from Kresk, as well as Barovia, with the intent to take down the Baron and his apparent cult leader, Lady Watcher. You have reached a point in your plans that you will soon have a point of no return. I beg you to keep your wits about you and to ensure that you stick to your morals, please. Be wary of your temptations as you enter a place where Strahd himself is rumored to have gained power from. More often than not, if it's too good to be true, then it is. I have sent along a set of warm weather clothing for Aubrey and Esmeralda to get you squared away for your trip to the mountains. Once you have finished your work there, try to meet up with us in Vallaki, as well as to get rid of these, as we all work to get rid of these terrible people. Also be aware that your actions up to this point seem to have inspired much of the Were-Ravens and others in different villages to come together for the benefit of the valley. You have a much bigger effect on others than you may think. As always, be safe, be smart, and don't die. P.S. Miri says hello, and then you see a little, like, bird footprints in the ink.
She called me smart.
And as you look and inspect your package as well, Aubrey, you have a similar set of warm weather clothing.
Awesome.
And that is what you guys have. What would you guys like to do?
Well, I guess we don't need to worry about going to Vallaki and dealing with Lady Watcher and
Not till we've come back from the mountains.
Huh?
Not till we come back from the mountains, anyway.
so we just need to.
Go to the mountain.
We did get a message sent to.
I don't think
What's
you guys
this?
actually gave the official warning to actually send a message to him.
Oh. In
Wait,
that case,
what?
we need to go and get what's his face.
I don't think that they sent word. You guys sent word yet to
I thought- Kashmir.
Casimir. Yeah.
I remember because of Kashmir. I
Yeah.
don't know why.
I forget his
Watch
name all
me
the time
go
because
on.
I just remember his sister's name for some reason.
So yeah, so we need to go and get Casimir.
Casimir.
Well, we could go and get Casimir, or we could go and try to find another Were-Raven. I can go and try and find another Were-Raven because that's what I seem to do most of the time. I think I've
Well,
gotten
that's-
very good at it.
Well, yes.
While that's happening, I'd like to read the journal a bit, like the first, like skim read, to see what it's roughly about.
All right.
I can show you the first 5 letters.
You actually, he shows it to you, and they are actually the first 5 letters.
Wow, well done. Maybe
Thanks.
I'll write your name down so you can learn how to write your name.
Okay.
You open the book, and it seems to be a journal of some kind of Babali Saga. Some of the text is very
Your diary.
old and weathered. Where it recounts the fact that Queen Ravonia Van Royen may be Strahd's biological mother, but it was I who brought him into this world. I was her midwife, and it was Mother Night that blessed this child. He has the spark of... I planted the spark of magic in him, and he will soon become a great, powerful ruler and follow instead and surpass his parents. And one day, he will recognize me as the one that gave him life, truly. Basically kind of like mad ramblings of a woman who has deceived herself, essentially, to be considering herself like the mother of Strahd. And continues on, her watching him from afar, mainly just being like, oh, he's so wonderful. I can't believe he's just so good at what he does, kind of stuff like that. I'm so proud. And then also she talks about like giving up goat sacrifices to Mother Nights consistently, and like the construction of like the scarecrows. You get mentions of, I've been told by my contacts within the castle that there's a group of were ravens that are plotting against my Strahd, and I must now ensure that they get nowhere, and I will destroy them. Which is more recent, but you can assume that as well, because she was the one that was attacking the winery when you guys first got there, as well as the druids. And then you get to one of the more recent ones, which seems to... It's been surpassed by a couple more entries that are of no particular interest. But there's one that says, over the past months, I have observed Strahd frequenting the Amber Temple more lately. There's been much more activity within the valley than usual. The Vistani travel more frequently than they usually do, considering most of the time they're drunk on their asses. They're traveling beyond the bounds of the realm, I think. I see them head towards the misty walls, and then return days later carrying packages and supplies like couriers to the castle. Attacks on the villagers have gone down, so it seems my dear Strahd may be in a good mood, possibly anticipating something. All that matters to me, though, is that Strahd travels nearby much more often during this time as well, frequenting an area in the mountains past Solank Pass. I always forget how to pronounce that. Perhaps one day he might come to me looking for assistance with his ambitions. And I pray to the Night Mother. I didn't feel like doing her voice. I'm sorry. My throat is very scratchy.
It's fine.
Now. I realized I made her sound like a gushing teenage girl, kind of, more than...
Why doesn't he love me back?
Pretty much.
You said she was the midwife?
Yes.
Okay.
You just killed a nurse.
So she is, by the counts, older than Strahd.
Yeah.
Do we know how old Strahd is?
You guys haven't made any investigations as of.
We really don't ask a lot of
You
questions.
guys don't. Makes so much lore.
Seems about right. No.
Yeah, I make so much lore, and I feel like I'm gonna just be able to like touch the like. Oh wait, I saw like a meme about it was like the D&D lore my players see, and it's like the id, superego, and ego diagrams and like psychology books where it's like the tip of the iceberg and then the iceberg underneath. It's like the story lore that my players see, the rest of my lore.
Did we want to investigate those pillars, or even just like
That's what I was thinking. Like, there's quite a few just
Well,
bits of stuff.
That over there.
yeah.
There's also some stuff down where Bubbly Saga's house was.
What do my elf eyes see?
You see down in the south, there's more ruined buildings that are kind of matching the state of decay as the ones you're in now, so you can assume that it's not too much going on there. You see the remains of what looks to be a churchyard over there, and you see what remains to be what seems like an old ruined mansion. And then you also see movement of certain small creatures in some kind of small pen construct. And then you see the stone monuments in the distance towards the east.
Kind of want to look in the mansion. I don't know.
I mean, if Esmeralda's just sent a message to
Oh yeah, and you guys see as Esmeralda's walking out in the distance, being like, "Where Raven? Come here, please. I need one of you for a message." And then she continues on for like 10 minutes. We're walking further and further away slightly.
A secret trick.
Yes, that is her secret trick. You guys have been inside buildings every time she's done this. So you did not know what her trick was up until now.
It was more graceful.
So this was a
Graveyard, church,
and this is the mansion.
Hey, do you wanna have a look?
Sure.
Anyone else wanna come?
Yeah.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah.
Esmeralda, we're going over
What?
here. We're
Fine, I
just
guess
gonna-
I'm looking for a fucking whale raven still.
Okay, I'm just letting you know where we're going.
Don't get
No.
yourself killed.
Try not to.
You
Why not
too.
do?
Oh, there's another leg. Wait. I didn't say that.
I was gonna say, she'll have a very smart comment afterwards.
There was another way.
And that is how you get killed.
Yeah, it would have been along the lines of, I hope a werewolf takes off your leg then.
Ah.
So where were we going? To the graveyard or the mansion?
So we
go
can
to the
work back
mansion.
through.
All right. So you guys make your way through the muddy grounds,
Yeah.
the slopping noises continuing.
Mm-hmm.
For the south end of the
Zoom.
village lies the remains of a mansion built on higher grounds. It has been reduced to piles of stone and rotting timber. Empty arched windows stare at you. South of the ruin, an untamed garden runs rampant, surrounded by broken walls that no longer are able to contain it. East of the ruin, someone has erected a crude wooden fence, forming a circular yard in which several goats are penned. Surmounting the fence posts are human skulls.
Hmm.
Yeah, so that's Vincenzo's closest to the goat pen. And then there's just the remains of the mansion.
I take the skull out of the bag of holding. Kind of like, yeah, similar.
Yeah. And there are goats in there as well. That are alive and
Do we just break the fence and let them go free?
You can, yeah.
Maybe you should
No,
talk to them to see if they're
anarchy.
friendly goats.
Yeah.
I cast speak with animals and ask if they're friendly goats.
And if there's anything.
Hey, save us before she takes another one.
Oh,
I-
she's dead.
She comes
She's-
down in a skull and takes us.
She's dead. We killed her. Don't worry. We'll set you free. And
Ask about if it's magical.
Oh,
Well,
do you
I
know
don't
if
know.
this is magic? Like, if we break the fence, you speak as much nonsense as I do.
Okay, just bring it down.
Break the fence.
All right, roll for an attack.
24.
All right, roll for damage.
So bad at finding details. 10. Damage.
Also, yeah, it's not the most delicate. You go and you cleave a part of the fence, and then you can hear as the goats are screaming in your ears, Gundoozy. 'Cause they're all like making loud bleating sounds to everyone else. At the same time as when you destroy this, the skulls that are fixed upon in the top of the fence begin to let out a very loud screaming sound as well, which lasts for
Dispel
like a
magic.
minute. You can dispel it, yeah. You have to choose one area, don't you?
one thing to dispel.
So you
the
dispel
mud.
one of them from screaming.
I'm pretty
Oh,
sure
is it?
it's just an alarm. and
Oh,
she's already dead.
that's
So
true.
I didn't
And
think
as
about
you break it, the goats start running away,
I
screaming
shout,
as well
I
as they
shout
run.
to them in goat, "You're welcome."
Ah!
I turn to the rest of the group and I'm like, "Why are the animals that we rescue not thankful?"
Why are you so insistent when you get thanked?
No one's ever thanked
You're
me.
so entitled, man. Like, relax.
Does the mansion look like
Stable.
stable? Are we able to go and
Yeah,
look at
it
it?
looks okayishly stable. There's still some structure to it. It's just still kind of rotted. Like the upstairs is completely like caved in. There is still a bottom floor though.
I would like to enter the mansion and just quick like perception to see if there's anything that might have any good.
All right, you're entering the
Treasure.
mansion. Is anyone else entering the mansion?
This is definitely trapped.
I'm gonna wait
I
till
don't
he
see why
enters.
not.
I mean, I ask this also for when you guys go in buildings.
Yeah.
I'll wait till he's gone.
It would be
in to see
it would be
if
an
he-
investigation check. So anybody who's going in, you guys go in. It's a very old, like, rotting mansion. Any potential like fabric is either being like sucked into the mud and rotting away, or it's been eaten away by like bugs. It's like very humid in here because it's been kind of an enclosed space, and it kind of like your noses pucker a little bit at the smell. You look around and try to look and see if there's anything of note in here. And those of you who are in the room see as Genduzi behind Genduzi, a ghost takes shape in the fog, assuming the form of a giant of a man. His features mutilated and his entrails hanging out like frayed ropes. Despite its intimidating presence, the apparition has a cringing light in its eyes. Why do you invade my home? Be gone, I beseech you.
Do I recognize this ghost?
Roll a
Hmm.
intelligence check
-1.
at disadvantage.
Oh.
5.
No.
And I tell him what beseech means.
Go on then.
He really wants you to do it.
He wants me to do it.
to do as he
To go.
says. I kind of want
What
to
do
talk
you
about it.
want? Please leave.
We're just looking around. We killed the witch that was here, so we thought we'd just have a look and see if there's anything.
There was a
Good.
witch that lived here.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You didn't see the goats outside?
I remain within my home.
Oh.
What's your name?
I am
For this.
Burgomaster
Oh.
Laszlo Ulrich.
Lazaro?
Laszlo
Oh, Lazaro.
Ulrich.
Is that meant to sound familiar, surname-wise?
No, I don't think
sounds
it's familiar
familiar.
to anybody you guys have met.
You said
Okay.
Ulrich?
Ulrich, yeah. You might be thinking of like Erwin or something.
Maybe.
Were you the burgomaster of this town?
I am the I was
You
the
are,
burgomaster
yes.
of Perez before it was flooded.
Is that how you died?
Do I look as though I have died from flooding? He points to his entrails that are hanging out of his body.
I mean, you could have done, and then as you floated off, your body got caught on something, and that's what ripped you open.
That is not what happens with spirits, boy.
Oh. So how did you die?
Oh, I died because we took it upon ourselves to rid Strahd of the ability to take young Marina as his bride.
So you're anti-Strahd.
I do not
We
know
are
many in the
too.
valley who do not want Strahd to be alive.
We've killed most of them.
You're not even in here.
I'm right behind you. Actually, I was closer to it than
I
you
went
were.
inside.
Yeah. But wasn't he? He
Anyway.
appeared at the doorway, didn't he?
Behind me.
Behind
Yeah,
Genduzi.
But you went
So
inside,
he's
so I
not looking
thought
at you.
I thought he was here.
He's stuck in the house. He can't be. Anyway,
I
sorry
misread the
about that.
situation.
So we're on a mission to destroy Strahd.
Yeah.
Is there anything in this house that we might be able to use against him?
To my knowledge, no.
Well,
If I
thanks.
had something I could have used against Strahd, I would have used it a long time ago.
Okay. Well, thanks for your help. I'll leave you in peace if that's what you really want.
I am not in peace.
Oh, is there any way I can help you to
Is
be
he a
in
revenant?
peace?
He's not a revenant, he's a ghost.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
He's a ghost similar to the children from the house that you guys
Oh, we
came
could.
upon.
Where's his body?
Is there anything I can do
Where's
to
his
help
body?
you be in peace?
Where's his body?
No, you cannot. You cannot bring young Marina back from the dead.
Is Marina the one that
Marina Diamandis. Sorry, go
you're
on.
so annoying? Is Marina the one that was betrothed to Strahd's brother? Or is this someone totally different?
That was Tatiana.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's.
Do you
So,
even know?
Who's Marina?
I've been by the door, by the way, because I was planning on going in. I'm just scared of getting injured, so I was by the door.
Marina was a young peasant girl that was at the village that Strahd took a liking to, stating her appearance and mannerisms were very nostalgic to him. As I gathered, because he said that we had taken away his long love after we had killed her. He had seduced her in the dead of night and feasted on her blood, but before she was able to be turned into a vampire, we decided to save her soul from damnation, and we killed Marina. As a result, we were killed as in retribution by Strahd, and he used his power over the land to swell the river.
Right?
Oh. I'm sorry about that.
You okay?
What do you say to that?
Since we can't help you with your sadness, is there anything cool in here that we can make?
I've already asked. if there's
Unfortunately,
anything
no
cool.
small one.
Oh, okay. Thank you then. I'd like to leave.
All right.
Where did you die?
Here.
In this house?
Yes, this was my house.
So is your body still here?
It has been many years since then. I can imagine no. Not anything that the bog has not retaken already.
His body's not here.
I'm just gonna, whilst Vincenzo's talking to him, I'm just gonna like, try and just slowly walk out, like, so I'm just really awkward in this situation.
You do. You walk out, and he does not attack you. He stays and begins to mull about the mansion and a practice knowledge. You also hear in the distance, "Where, ravens? I need you." But further off.
I really don't want to leave till we help this man.
He's a lost cause, let's go.
I can't deal with that. Like, Yali is gonna be upset. She's gonna cry.
I still walk into the graveyard.
If you would like to make a wisdom check, yeah, go so.
I'm not sure I'm good at wisdom. Can you have a... Oh, 18.
You hear in the back of your mind, "We are unable to help him, my dear."
It was me. Lost cause, we aren't able to help him.
We do not have the means. They lie out of our reach with your friend Irina gone.
So, what do I see at this graveyard?
You go over the graveyard. Over the graveyard. Through the fog, you see an empty shell of an old stone church. It's quite small. North of which there's also a cemetery as part of it. Leaning gravestones enclosed by a disintegrating iron fence. Half of the cemetery has sunk into the mire. Nothing too eye-catching, at least at first.
There's no point in me trying to read any of the gravestones, so I'm just gonna continue back to find Esmeralda and help her out.
Speaking in Labyrinth or Raven. I don't know.
I'm gonna say sorry to bother you, and I hope you may find some sort of peace, and we hopefully get revenge for you. And I'm gonna leave.
You get no response from the ghost. He kind of gives you a look and a nod, and goes back to what he was doing. What else do you guys want to do?
I'm just sad now. I don't...
Wherever.
Okay. I'm going
Yeah.
to...
Like to go
It takes her like 5 more minutes as you guys enjoy the spectacle, and then eventually, finally, one were-raven comes by, and she brings them over. "I don't know who this person is, so you're going to have to explain it to what you want to tell them. But here's your were-raven."
Oh.
Bertha?
Yeah, how did you know?
Bertha.
We're looking for Casimir. He's a what's the elf thing? What?
Drow?
No. He's some sort of elf.
Starts with a D.
Yeah. Guy.
It's the opposite of Dawn.
God.
I knew it would... Yeah,
Oh,
thank you.
Yeah.
I forgot that word existed. Lol.
I'm using that against them because they specifically told me that they were confused about dawn and dusk. And I love the words dawn and dusk. They're some of my good descriptors.
The pendant thing. I was
Yeah,
like,
I know.
what is it? I can't remember.
He's
I
the
don't even
leader
remember.
of the Dusk Elves, and he lives next to the Vistani camp.
We know where the dusk elves are.
They might be.
Why?
What is the message
He's
you
just
need
trying
for
to
him?
meet us.
Yeah, we could bring him.
Well, just tell him that the ones who knock are ready, and we'll meet him at the. No, we're not meeting him at the Ember Temple, are we? We're just gonna meet him and go there with him.
He
We'll
said he'd
meet
meet you
him.
guys at the Amber Temple.
Okay, we'll meet him at the Ember Temple as soon as possible.
Okay. Bertha just flies away.
Hi, Bertha.
Bye.
Back to Yalia, since I was interrupted. But, okay.
Yalia's internal debate on what she wants to do with this
No.
ghost
I'm
that
just
she
gonna
can't
stand
help.
and watch her from a distance because perfect eyesight.
I'm going to walk up and I'll be like, I'm really sorry for bothering you. And I wish there was more that I could do, you see.
Yes.
The god that I serve is a god of death, and it really hurts me that you can't be put to rest. So is there anything that I can do for you? Because
I'm very sorry you're hurting.
I know, it seems selfish, but I would prefer you be at peace than to be
You cannot
stuck.
bring Marina back from the dead. I'm sorry.
Who was
That
she
is-
to you?
No one, but I feel guilt.
I can't. But
My job as a burgomaster is to look over my residence, and I failed. That is my guilt. That is my peace that I cannot make.
So, would us getting rid of Strahd be the best way to make you feel better about that?
He was not the one that killed her.
I know, but
Please leave me in my peace. What
you
little
are
peace I
peaceful.
have.
I'm sorry.
You are not. I am not in peace. Just leave me, please.
Okay, bye.
A ghost could sigh. You hear a very far in the distance as you leave.
Yeah. Cool.
Anything else you guys would like to do?
Don't think so.
At all?
We can, although that's across the big river.
But there is a path.
I guess the
Yeah,
path
it's
goes
across.
across.
It's across the river.
No? Start making our way to the Ember Temple.
If you're passing by the stones, make those of you who were here for the hag encounter at the start of the campaign can make an intelligence roll.
Okay.
That's
15.
not that great.
18?
Wow. 7.
So Yalia,
Guys.
Yalia and Vincenzo, Aurora, what'd you get?
16.
Oh.
So Yalia, Genduzi, and Aurora. You guys all recall seeing similar pillars by the windmill.
They were like waystone kind of things, weren't they?
They were kind of like the standing stones kind of in like Skyrim.
Oh.
Yes.
They're kind of like those.
Okay.
Which was
Like
what
that,
that they
right,
were.
mage.
Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. I was trying to fix my thingy. That it's broken. But yeah, they're kind of like those.
section. Critical.
Anything
Can I
else you guys
see if I
wanna do?
know if they have any purpose?
Yeah, make an intelligence roll again. See if you remember what purpose the other ones had.
Got 9.
But you have perfect
Grinding.
memory.
Yeah, but I don't think that he had that feat
No.
when he was there because you guys hadn't leveled up by that time. So no, he doesn't. You can't remember what their purpose was, just that they were very old and that they seemed to have some kind of very natural power to them.
That's all I'd like to do.
So where are you guys going?
Quick thing about the pillars.
Yes. I hate when my music stops working near the end of the game.
I don't know if this is a like interesting point or I'm just making things up. But could it be possible that the the thing that Strahd did to the land might be linked to those pillars in any way?
Make an intelligence check. It would actually probably be history check.
That's going to be the same. 8.
You don't quite know. Particularly, especially because you weren't particularly there for it, or you guys have not very much investigated the history of Barovia in detail. You do not know if they are linked to the natural powers that he subdued when taking over the valley that you got from the tome that you read. So what are you guys gonna do?
Are we making our way to the Ember Temple?
Yeah, I guess.
Like starting our journey.
Yeah, as you start your journey, that is where we'll pick up again next week. As also, it's a good stopping point because my playlist started crapping out on me. It lasted for a long time, this game, and I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
But
A long way.
yeah, it's gonna be a multiple day journey for you guys.
Yeah.
Many
I'll put it
fights.
Come on, come to the map. Nope, that one's after the big map. There it is. So it's going to take you, if you leave directly from Berez, like cutting through the river valley, you could cut some days off. Because it will take you a very long time to follow the road. It could take you like upwards of a week of travel time to follow the road directly, because you have to go up and follow the road, and then it winds through the hills a lot and through the mountain. If you cut through the river valley, however, you'd cut off, I'd say, like probably a good 4 days off your travel. Because then at that point you're at the base of the river, and
A week? We going normal week, or we going
normal week.
Okay. 3 days. Or
All
7.
weeks I mention in D&D are normal weeks.
Okay.
And the map that you guys have, the elevation there doesn't seem too bad to try to get up onto the area there.
Oh, also, can I just announce that I made known what was in the journal in regards to the frequency of Strahd going to the Ember Temple?
Yeah. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you guys cut through there, you'd cut off 4 days. You'd only have like 3 to travel to the actual Amber Temple. And then, yeah, other than that, you'd
All I can
probably
think
have
of-
to.
All I can think of right now is the Emperor's New Groove, where it's like, how'd you get here before us? I don't know. By all accounts, we shouldn't have gotten here first.
Yeah. Technically, you guys would just be traveling. You probably have to start climbing the mountains closer to where the swamp is now at a lower elevation to try to get on the road, and then you'd have to make it. You'd have to enter before Solinka Pass in order to cross. By how the map looks that you've received from various people, because most of the maps you guys receive from people aren't like, they're kind of like cartographer maps a little bit, in the sense that like you get general variety of like geographical areas, and then a mixture of like what cities or areas are like prominent locations. But there is also like people who have in the past at least mapped out how tall like the elevation is of Mount Gacus and Mount Baratok. Mount Baratok less so, because it's not as prevalent and as accessible as Mount Gacus is in the valley. But yeah, that will be next week. Let me know if you have any questions. And yeah, that's gonna be it. I gotta go. I'm tired. Good night, everybody.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Later.
Oh.
I don't think
All right.
we decided which way.
Yeah,
She's-
she's like, we could go straight to the river pass to cut off some time, or we could just walk the entire way on the road.
I mean, it makes sense to me that we would just follow the river from where we are.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Was that what?
No, it's like I didn't know if we'd be slowed down. Just or not.
And she said it would take.
Yeah, less days, so I
3
guess
days.
not.
And maybe she accounted in how slow we'd have to walk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. I'm gonna go make some dinner. You guys have a good night.
You too.
Hey, stream.
Nice.
So annoying. Why did you get away?
You always start right when I say it. Stream. Head off.
Today, huh?
Good death in you guys. Alright, stream, gonna head off. Hope you all enjoyed. We'll be back next Saturday for more D&T. Didn't really do much, but maybe we got some things, but like no fighting. But anyways, I'll be playing games during the week, so if you want to come by and watch that, more than welcome to. But you guys are just here for D&D. We'll see you guys next Saturdays. On the Dream Monkey, I got a banana split. Bye.